My sister ruined my dress in front of everyone at my wedding reception, flipped over the cake table and screamed, "Today everyone will find out who you really are." Instead of stopping her, my father said, "She's emotional, just ignore her." I stayed silent. That same night I ended her college fund, car payments and our shared apartment guarantee. The next morning her first call came, "How did you stop my entire life? Do you want to tell everyone who you really are?" My sister's voice echoed across the entire hall. I was standing in the middle of my wedding reception. I had a bouquet in my hand. The cake we were supposed to cut just minutes later was sitting in front of me, and all around me were my friends, relatives, and my husband's family. Then my sister Olivia grabbed my dress. With one quick pull, red liquid spilled across my white silk gown. The noise in the room disappeared. The music stopped. Everyone turned toward us. "Olivia, what are you doing?" I asked quietly. She laughed. "Now everyone is going to find out who you really are." My sister Olivia Harper. 30 years old. My older sister. She had always believed she was the smartest person in the family. Wherever she went, she wanted every eye on her. And that night was no different. My name is Emma Harper. I am 28 years old. I live in Chicago, Illinois. I work for a marketing company, and that day I was celebrating the biggest moment of my life. My wedding. My husband Daniel was standing beside me. He looked at Olivia. "Are you serious right now?" Olivia shrugged. "What? Everyone should know that Emma isn't as innocent as she pretends to be." I looked at her. "Olivia, stop." She stepped closer. "No. Not today. Everyone is going to hear this." Then she slammed her hand against the cake table. The table shook. And the next second the cake fell to the floor. My wedding cake. A 6-tier white cake. It was scattered across the floor. Someone gasped. "Oh my God." My mother immediately stepped forward. "Olivia." But she wasn't stepping forward to stop her. She was only reacting because people were watching. My father Richard stood there silently. I looked at him. I thought he would say, "Enough." I thought he would stop his daughter. But he only said, "She's emotional. Ignore her." I stared at him. "Dad." He looked away. "Don't ruin today, Emma." I stayed quiet for a few seconds. Then I looked back at my sister. "You just ruined my wedding reception." She smiled. "No. I just brought the truth out." "What truth?" She said. "The truth you've been hiding from everyone." People started whispering. My husband grabbed my hand. "Emma, let's go." But I stayed where I was. Because I knew. Olivia had something she wanted to say. And for the first time I wanted to hear all of it. She had always done this. She would tell half the story. Turn people against me. Then act like she was the victim. She pulled out her phone. "I have proof." My mother immediately said, "Olivia, maybe this isn't the right time." Olivia snapped back. "You always do this. You always protect her." I looked at her in disbelief. "Protect me?" She laughed. "Yes. You. What have I ever done to you?" She leaned toward me. "You've always gotten everything." "What?" "Mom and Dad's attention. Their pride. Everything." I just stared at her. "You're really doing this on my wedding day? Because today everyone is looking at you." That sentence made everything clear. This was never about me. It was about her. She wanted everyone's attention on her again. If you enjoy stories about people who stay quiet but still find the strength to stand up for themselves, take a moment to like this story and subscribe to the channel. Because what my sister was trying to hide that night was about to come out in front of everyone. I kept my eyes on Olivia. "Okay." She looked surprised. "What?" "Say it." The room went silent. Olivia held her phone in her hand. And for the first time she looked slightly nervous. Because maybe she expected me to cry, to yell, or to stop her. But I just stood there. And my silence was bothering her. She finally spoke. "You only married Daniel for his money." The room erupted with whispers. My husband immediately said, "What?" I looked at Daniel. He looked confused. "Emma, what's happening?" I answered, "Nothing." Olivia said, "Don't lie." I looked at her. "You have proof, right? Show it." She stopped. Only for a second. But I noticed. That second mattered. Because people who are telling the truth usually don't need time to decide what to say. Olivia opened her phone. "I have messages." Show them. She stayed quiet. My mother said, Emma, just let it go. I looked at my mother for the first time. No. My voice wasn't loud. Not today. Everyone was silent. I said, if my sister has something to say, she can say it in front of everyone. Olivia lowered her phone. You always think you're better than everyone. I replied, no. I'm just tired. She laughed. You're tired? Yes. I said, in every fight you create, I somehow become the villain. She started to respond, but then someone stepped forward. It was my husband's father, James. He spoke quietly. Olivia, maybe you should stop. She immediately turned toward him. You too. James said, I'm just saying this is a wedding. Olivia replied, you don't know what Emma is really like. I looked at her. You think everyone is just going to believe you? She stepped closer. Yes. Because eventually the truth comes out. I said, exactly. Then I went quiet. Because I knew. The real truth was still coming. And what Olivia didn't know was that I had something too. Something that could completely change her story. I looked at Olivia. She still thought she had won. She believed a few accusations, a loud voice, and a public scene would make her the winner. But she forgot one thing. I had known her for years. I knew when she was lying. I knew when she was creating drama. And I knew she always hid the part of the story where she was the one who was wrong. Daniel came closer to me. Emma, explain to me what's happening. I looked at him. I don't even know why she's doing this today. Olivia immediately said, because you're hiding the truth. I looked at her. What truth? She said, that you've always gotten everything. I shook my head. Olivia, you destroyed my wedding cake, ruined my dress, and you're still acting like you're the victim? He shouted. Because you've always been everyone's favorite. The room went quiet. My father slowly said, Olivia, stop. But there was no concern in his voice. Only worry that people were watching. That was always how he was. The problem wasn't that someone did something wrong. The problem was that people were finding out. Olivia pointed at me. Do you remember when we were kids? I stayed silent. Mom was always on your side. I said, that's not true. She laughed. Really? She looked at everyone. When Emma got good grades, the whole house celebrated. When I got good grades, they just said, good job. I watched her. Because for the first time, I realized maybe this resentment had been building inside her for years. But pain doesn't give anyone the right to hurt someone else. I quietly said, you were hurt, Olivia. I understand that. She stopped. But what you did wasn't okay. The anger returned to her face. You still think you're better than me. I didn't answer. Because the argument was over. Now the truth was coming. I pulled my phone out of my purse. Daniel looked surprised. Emma. I said, there's something everyone needs to know. Olivia's expression changed. What are you going to do? I opened my phone. The same thing you're doing. I looked at her. I'm going to show the truth. I played a video. It was from 3 weeks earlier. Olivia was sitting in a cafe. A woman was sitting across from her. It was my sister's friend, Megan. Olivia's voice was clear. I just need the right moment when everyone is there. Megan asked, but why? Olivia answered, because Emma has always gotten everything so easily. You really want to ruin her wedding? I just want people to see the truth. The room became silent. The video continued. And Daniel? Megan asked. Olivia laughed. He'll leave her. Every man leaves when they find out who someone really is. I stopped the video. Nobody spoke. Olivia's face changed. You spied on me? I answered, no. I lowered my phone. Megan sent it to me. Everyone looked at Olivia. She said, she's lying. Then Megan stepped forward. No, Olivia. Everyone turned toward her. Megan said, I sent it. Olivia stared at her. Why? Megan answered quietly. Because after being around you, I realized something. She paused. You don't hate Emma. You just want someone to notice you. That was the one thing Olivia didn't want to hear. Because sometimes the hardest thing to accept is the truth. But the story wasn't over. The biggest secret was still there. I had never planned to hurt anyone. But Olivia forced me to set a boundary. After the wedding, I didn't make any immediate decisions. I waited until the next day. I didn't want anger to control my choices. I wanted every step to be careful. Because Olivia wasn't just my sister. She was connected to my financial responsibilities. And that was the part nobody knew. For the past 4 years I had been helping Olivia. Her college fund. Her monthly car payments. Her apartment lease guarantee. Everything. Why? Because my parents told me, "You're the older sister." And I kept helping because I thought maybe one day they would do the same for me. But after what happened at my wedding, I made a decision. I was not going to make someone's life easier while they were making mine harder. The next morning I called the bank. I want to remove my guarantee from the shared payment agreement. The woman on the phone asked, "Are you confirming this decision?" I said, "Yes." "You understand this will affect the other person?" I answered, "Yes." Then I made another call. About Olivia's college account. Then another. About her car payments. I handled everything legally. No screaming. No drama. Just decisions. The next morning at 7 my phone rang. It was Olivia. I answered. The first thing I heard was her shouting, "How did you stop my entire life?" I stayed quiet. Then I said, "Good morning, Olivia." She was furious. "Why did you cancel my college fund?" "Because it wasn't my responsibility." "Why did you stop paying for my car?" "Because it wasn't my car." She went silent for a few seconds. Then she said, "You can't do this." I replied, "Why not?" "Because we're family." I quietly said, "You didn't remember that when you ruined my wedding." She became silent. Then she said, "You're getting revenge." I answered, "No." "Then what is this?" I said, "Setting boundaries." She had nothing to say. I ended the call. A few weeks later a lot changed in my family. My father tried to talk to me. He said, "We need to help you and Olivia make peace." I asked him, "Did you stop Olivia?" He stayed silent. "Dad, you didn't do anything either." He looked down. Because he knew. It wasn't just my sister's mistake. It was years of silent support. My mother called later too. "You took things too far." I asked, "And what she did?" She went quiet. Because she had no answer. I still don't talk to Olivia today. Not because I hate her. But because some distances are necessary. Some people enter your life disguised as love, but in reality they only drain your energy. My wedding day could have been the worst day of my life. But it became the day I finally chose myself. And the strange thing is, when I stopped trying to make everyone else happy, I became happy for the first time. If you think Emma made the right choice by standing up for herself, please like this story, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more powerful stories. Tell us in the comments if you were in Emma's place, would you have stayed silent or would you have set your boundaries?